The other thing you mentioned was the desk. We have contestants at Chinley's height, 5 foot whatever, and John 6 foot whatever, and everywhere in between. So, you know, we struggled for a minute about should we build the desk adjustable? Should we build a little box for people to stand on?
We did. The step stool idea was a fun one.
Yeah.
We almost forgot about the channels that we had to account for when we built the whole frame. That was a big consideration for both the platform and the desk, like every single piece.
That's right, and yeah.
Power, Ethernet, and HDMI, so we could like show people.
Yeah, so we cut these little sort of mouse holes in the frame so that we can chase the wires through, and then, as you said, all the different pathways had to get that sort of cut out so we can chase the wires. So there were a couple shapes that you came up with. You know, obviously the ring is a square. We decided to chamfer those corners.
We wanted to have a flat face on the edge of the post that we could put a logo on. So naturally, we thought it would look a little bit better if we also had like a matching flat face at the edge of the ring. So that's why we chamfered the corners of those.
Well, I like that you flare out and kind of lift the whole thing, making it feel like it was taller, which is kind of echoed on the standing desk, which has that flare up. And I think in all of that context, it made it much more dynamic instead of just this really static box on the ground. So that was a really cool design decision.
You used your CNC router to cut the 3 main pieces that you can see from the outside, but we had a little bit of an internal structure for the wires to kind of come through.
That extra structure to hide the wires actually also became the post that tied it into the floor. So those things ran extra long, they went down in through holes that we cut in the floor, and then we could screw them into place. I think the other nice detail that you guys came up with, and I was resistant to at first, was air holes or cooling openings for the laptops. And I'm like, we don't need that, laptops are fine. But it came out really well, and I love that you echoed that same trapezoid shape. It was a really nice touch.
I think one of your biggest pushback is, how do we paint all those little holes inside of the holes?
Yeah, because...
Was it hard?
Oh, it was awful. I wasn't wrong. So,
What was worth
in
it?
fact, painting the desk ended up being my nemesis. I learned something that was just, I guess, is a good thing. We always go to acrylic paint when we're like, it's gotta be done fast and dries quickly, and acrylic paint is great in that regard, but when you're trying to paint such a large surface, by the time you get across the other side, it's all dried over there and your brush strokes are just visible everywhere.
Acrylic paint is really meant to go on non-porous surfaces. Whereas in our case, we're applying it onto a very thirsty piece of plywood. Watering it down was definitely the right way to approach it.
Yeah, that's something I'll take with me forever. Like, if I ever want to do a big project like this, the idea of watering down an acrylic paint is awesome. Just it's like a wash, and it covers quickly, and then you can go on with multiple coats and then sort of build up the richness.